Hello, this is Alex from the National Weather Service in Pocatello with your Eastern Idaho planning briefing for Sunday, May 17th. Quite a bit going on here over the next several days. First of all, we're still tracking a strong, moisture-rich, low-pressure system that's going to impact the area with precipitation. Some light precipitation starting this afternoon, but more noticeable precipitation, if you will, in the Monday through Wednesday time frame. We're still expecting 1 to 2 inches across the central Idaho mountains, specifically northern Blaine and most of Custer County. And perhaps a few pockets, even outside of those areas, could see upwards of an inch of rain should you get under some heavier showers for a longer period of time. So with that, there'll be some rises in rivers and streams from midweek and beyond. And we'll also have some wind to contend with as well tonight. Also into Monday and again Wednesday. Potentially some breezier winds down in the far southeast corner in the Bear Lake area on Tuesday as well. That could lead to some choppy waters down there. I ran out of room on the slide here, but we'll actually have another storm system moving into the area late Thursday, and it looks like that storm system will be lingering around at least into the early part of next weekend. That'll bring another round of precipitation, wind, and cooler temperatures to the region. So an active week and a half or so on the docket here. Taking a look at the current satellite picture this morning, our area of low pressure hasn't moved very much in the last 24 hours, and it's going to continue to only very slowly move towards the Oregon coastline through tomorrow. Once it gets to Oregon, it will start to accelerate towards the southeast, drift across northern Nevada on Tuesday, and then start to swing towards Idaho on Wednesday. Through the day on Wednesday, it should track through central Idaho and then start to accelerate northward and exit into southern Canada by Thursday. So the slow-moving and moisture-rich nature of this system is why we're expecting such high rainfall amounts. Taking a look at your weather impact overview, it is busy, but we'll break it down here one day at a time. Starting with today, we'll see some isolated showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm in the Snake Plain this afternoon, with perhaps some gusty winds with that activity. And then this evening, it looks like there's the potential for some stronger winds out of the south to develop across the southern hills and maybe across the Interstate 86 corridor between Burley and Pocatello. And then for Monday, southerly winds will develop across most of East Idaho, and that could cause some local blowing dust. Winds will be generally in the 15 to 25 with gusts to 35 mile per hour range. Given the fact that soils are so dry across the region, really any wind gusts up to about 35 miles per hour could stir up some dust. Outside the Snake Plain, there will be some windy conditions across their higher elevation areas towards the Utah-Nevada borders. As we get into the afternoon hours in particular, we'll see some showers and thunderstorms develop across the Lost River, Wood River, Sawtooth, Lemhi area. Those will be heavy at times, and they'll continue through Tuesday. Some stronger thunderstorms with gusty winds are also possible, particularly Tuesday afternoon and early evening with this system. Now, backing up Monday evening, I wanted to mention there could be a surge of wind across the eastern Magic Valley and southern Snake Plain during the evening, so that's something we'll be watching as well. So the strong southerly winds during the day, switching to the west during the evening, and some blowing dust could certainly be kicked up during that time frame as well. Now, Tuesday night into Wednesday, a strong cold front will move through the area. So before then, snow levels will be generally above 8,000, 9,000 feet. So only the highest peaks across the central mountains. But after the cold front passes through on Wednesday, the snow levels will plummet into the 6,500 to 7,500 foot range. So that'll mean some snow for places like a Banner Summit and for Galena Summit, perhaps even down into the Stanley Basin, maybe even Island Park at times on Wednesday as well. We'll still see some thunderstorms in the afternoon towards the Wyoming border. And finally, on Wednesday, we'll see some windy conditions across the eastern Magic Valley and Snake Plain. So depending on how much rain we get, how much the soils are able to moisten up, there could still be some blowing dust concerns as well. And then finally, Wednesday night, the breezy conditions will continue. Showers will gradually wind down. So for the day on Thursday, we'll be left with just some breezy conditions across the Snake Plain. and some isolated showers, mostly in the higher terrain areas. Now, looking at the matrix as a whole, we're still going with the yellow minimal impact color. It's not to say there can't be some higher impacts from the heavier rain potential, but given the fact that much of Lane County is in a moderate to even severe drought, there's certainly capacity to absorb water. And so all depends on how much rain falls, what the rainfall rates end up being, and how much high elevation snowfall contributes to runoff. There could certainly be some issues due to all that. Moving forward, here's a look at the forecast radar for this afternoon. You can see these showers and isolated thunderstorms moving across the Snake Plain. So certainly some wind gusts possible there with that activity. So I just wanted to show you that for this afternoon. You can see farther west, most of the other showers and thunderstorms closer to the area of low pressure won't be moving into the central mountains until this evening. The 5-day precipitation forecast looks like this in these yellow areas for northern Blaine, Custer County, and we're still expecting 1 to 2 inches of rainfall with locally higher amounts. And again, through Tuesday, snow levels will be above 8,000 to 9,000 feet. They will crash down to about 6,500 to 7,500 feet, though, on Wednesday, as we mentioned. Farther east, notice all of East Idaho forecasts receive immeasurable precipitation, much less, though, across the Snake Plain than the central Idaho mountains. And for the Thursday through Saturday system, anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch are once again possible across the higher terrain areas, with lesser amounts across the Snake Plain. We'll focus more on that system, though, once this system exits our area. Wanted to show you the Monday evening forecast radar here as precipitation. Now rounds of precipitation will be impacting the area throughout the day on Monday, mostly across the central Idaho mountains. Even though the snow levels are forecast to be higher on Monday, some heavier showers could bring some colder air down, so places like Stanley could potentially briefly mix with snow during some of the heavier showers, but we don't anticipate much in the way of accumulation even for mountain passes until we get into late Tuesday night and Wednesday. So looking at the potential for rises on area rivers, the Henry's Fork near Rexburg forecast to approach bank full by the Friday to Saturday time frame, and the Bigwood River at Hailey forecast to approach bank full in the Wednesday to Thursday time frame. Wind gusts, they'll begin to increase this afternoon and expand across most of East Idaho out of the south, generally in the 25 to 35 mile per hour range for gusts. This evening, similar situation, but as I mentioned, for a brief time between, say, sunset and about 2 and 3 a.m., we could see some stronger gusts along the 86 corridor from Burley to Pocatello. During the day on Monday, stronger winds as a whole. The yellow and orange areas could see some southerly wind gusts in the 35 to perhaps up to 45 mile per hour range during the afternoon. And then, as I mentioned, during the evening, it appears we'll see another surge of winds, but out of the west this time, originating in the Treasure Valley. It appears they'll spill across the Magic Valley and into the southern Snake Plain. Those could be on the order of 35 to 45 miles per hour as well. Lighter winds on the whole for Tuesday, but they could be locally strong down to the Bear Lake area and cause some choppy waters down there. And then finally, your Wednesday afternoon and evening wind gusts getting up into that 40 to perhaps 45 mile per hour range across the Arco Desert, Inel, and from Idaho Falls to DuBois. Depending on how wet soils get with the rainfall, we could see some blowing dust issues with that as well. Warm temperatures today into the 70s and low 80s, but cooling off about 20 degrees for Wednesday. They won't recover very much next week. Only about 10-degree rise for Friday and then falling again for Saturday. Total snowfall amounts look like this. Again, most of the accumulation is above 6,500 feet. So, but certainly some light snow accumulation possible on mountain passes. Taking a look at the summary, a strong, moisture-rich low-pressure system that will bring us precipitation starting this afternoon, particularly Monday through Wednesday. 1 to 2 inches of rain are possible, particularly across northern Blaine and Custer counties. We'll see some rises on areas, rivers, and streams. As a consequence of the precipitation, we'll see some high elevation snow accumulation, and we'll see some breezy to windy conditions tonight, Monday evening, and again on Wednesday. Confidence as a whole in the moderate to high category. Still some uncertainty as to the potential nature of the impacts, though. That'll conclude the briefing for today. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, we welcome those to the phone number, email, social media channels you see here. Otherwise, please join us again for your Monday planning briefing. Have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you.